I'm Garcella Robinson and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be bringing you my April wrap-up. In the month of April, I read 9 books. I read 3,152 pages, and my average rating was a 3.6. So before getting into all of the books that I felt like should be mentioned on this video, I want to just say that I felt like this month was really a good reading month for me. What made me get through a lot of these books, I'm not gonna lie, was audio books, because in the month of March, I really didn't get to a lot of books, and it really put me behind on a lot of things, my videos, and also my reaching 100 books by the end of this month. Now this month was really good for me, especially with just those 9 books, and I'm so happy to be able to show you what made such an impact this month. The first book that I want to mention that really helped me get through this month was Jade War. Now, if you watch my past video, you know I want to read Jade Legacy in May, and I just want to say this book was so good. And for the first book, Jade City, I rated 5 stars, but in this book, in Jade City, I rated it 3 stars, and it was mostly because, like I said, I didn't come in there with the right mindset. I really thought that it was going to be a romance, but in this book, I'm able to understand what's going on and the whole political dynamic in it, and I was able to give this book 5 stars. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to give any spoilers because this video will be coming out next month, but Jade Legacy is also looking up. So let's get in a little bit into why I love this book so much and why I gave it the 5 stars that it deserved. So in Jade War, so much has progressed. Now, I do want to say that I might end up giving a little spoiler, so if you want to just skip ahead, maybe past this book if you haven't read it yet. But this book picks up after I always get the name mixed up, but Lon, he was the pillar in the past book, and the first book he passes away. And with Jade War, we really get to know Hilo a little better and how much of an impact he made as being a pillarman, and being able to finally step in his brother's shoes and understand what was like pretty much all the struggles that he was going through during this time. And you really get to see his love, Shay love, their growth, and also a lot of surprises that come in this book that you really don't expect to happen. And usually I feel like the second book in most series, it never goes right, or there's always something wrong with it. But I feel like in Jade War, Fonda Lee did such a great job in continuing on the series and just making it better with each book that she's written. And I would definitely recommend this one. That's why it's at the top of my list of being favorites for this month. The next book that I want to mention is The Fairest or Fairest. This book is by Marissa Meyer. Now, the reason why this is at my favorites because it is a 0.5 in her in one of her chronicles. And I want to say that this book, the reason why this book got such a high mention for me for this month is because I felt like it was such good, especially with it being a villain arc, because you get to know more about why the queen made the choices that she made. And even though, I feel like also what Marissa Meyer did with this book is that she didn't really try to make you feel sympathy for her. Well, she does make you feel sympathy, but she lets you know that this woman is still evil and she still made the choices that she made. And the way that she did it was so good. I definitely would recommend reading the 0.5s. Now, this series is a reread for me. When I first read this series, it was in, I believe, 2021 when I had first gotten to the military, at least when I was going through A school. And I didn't pick up the point fives because I didn't even know it was such a thing, and I wasn't really I wasn't really in that into recording my books or my progress in it. But yeah, I definitely would recommend this book, and I'm happy that it was able to make the top because I just did not expect this from this author, especially because I'm not gonna lie, I don't really like villain arcs. I feel like I just want to see them as, okay, I don't want no sympathy to go towards it. Like, I don't want to feel bad for them because when they're making the choices that they're making, I'm going to start to, like, I would start to, like, try to make excuses on why they doing this, even though they're, they have their own reasonings, and sometimes the reasonings aren't good, and the deaths that they cause for the people aren't good. So me trying to internalize that and make it a better situation is just not great. But she did such a great job with it, and I would recommend reading it. Now, the next book that I want to get into is my most surprising read for this month, and that is The Sunrise on the Reaping. Now, the reason why it's a surprise for me, because don't get me wrong, I love every Hunger Games book, even the one with snow in it. I loved it, read it, watched the movie, and I would definitely watch it again. But the reason why this was such a surprise to me is because even though I loved it, I do wish that I really wish that Suzanne Collins really put this book out before she did the Hunger Games, because I feel like now when I'm reading it, I know what's going to happen because it pretty much tells you that Haymitch, he goes through an ordeal. That's why he is the way he is. But it's like when you're reading it, you kind of expect something different to happen. Like, you don't expect all the bad stuff that end up happening in the book to happen. So I kind of just kept hoping, like, oh, I hope this don't happen, or I hope that don't happen. And I hope that he end up making it. I hope that he end up showing snow. But he doesn't do that because it's not in his time, It doesn't happen until the later books. So I am sad. I am happy that we got this book from her, because it's just so nostalgic being back in this world, especially because I feel like a dystopian world isn't done it's never done as good as The Hunger Games, Maze Runner, and I'm only giving this an honorary mention, but Insurgent, I believe that's what it's called. Oh, Divergent, sorry. Yeah, as Divergent. So it was very nostalgic to be back in this world and to see Haymitch's story, because I felt like it was it was well needed, well deserved, but I do feel like it would have just came a little bit earlier, because it just gives you so much hope, and it's misplaced hope because it's not going to happen like that. But I rated Sunrise on the Reaping 4.25 stars, and the reason why I took those, that 75 is exactly what I mentioned. I took it off because I felt like with that hope, it kind of it ruins the book a little bit, because it kind of just be like, oh, don't have hope because you know what's going to happen. So, yeah. Guys, I feel like I hate giving my least favorite books because I want to love every book. I hate having to put an author on trial. Well, not trial, but put them on a spotlight on them and tell them that their series weren't that good. And that is why right now I'm bringing you my least favorite of this entire month, and that would be A Curse So Dark and Lonely series. So the first book, A Curse So Dark and Lonely, I rated 3 stars. I really didn't I wouldn't say I didn't like this one, but I knew it was a beginner book, so I kind of wanted to give it the benefit of the doubt. So I gave it 3 stars because majority of Brigid Kemmerer, if you read books by her, you know that this author kind of she surprises you in the later books. Like, her first book is never her best one, at least when I read them. Her first books are never her best for me, but I had high expectations on the next ones. The next book that I read in this series was A Heart So Fierce and Broken. I rated this 3.25 stars, and I believe it was either 2.5 or 7.5. I'm not really sure, but I rated this book higher because it really started to build up. Like I said, when her books start to build up, it really gives you more insight into this author's writing. And I feel like she steps out of her comfort zone when she get into the second book. And I had so much high hopes for this. I felt like it was getting good. I felt like I was like, oh, it only could go up for here. But sadly, it did not. Last book in this series is A Vow So Bold and Deadly.
What the hell?
I read this in another video. If you look right here, well, if you click this link, you'll be able to check it out to get more of an insight on it, because I'm not going to go much in detail in this series. But I rated this book 3 stars, and I'm sad that I had to rate it 3 stars because I really just expected so much more from this author. Like, I feel like she really let me down, or like, not that she let me down, because I didn't rate it less than 3 stars, but it was just so plain. Like, I kind of like, even though I finished it in one night, it was such an easy read, but even when I was reading it, I kind of was just ready to get done with it. And I was just ready to get done with it, and I was ready to be done with this series. And I hate that this series won't get put on the favorites for me, because her last series that I read by her, Defend the Dawn series, like that's one of my favorite series, and it's sad that I won't be able to put this series in that category too, and it's gonna have to go in another category of being my least favorite reads. Yeah. This book that I'm gonna be mentioning today is When She Wishes. Now this will be the shortest book I read this month. Now, this is not even a category. I'm not going to lie. I have other categories, but since I didn't read a lot of books, it wasn't able to go into those categories. But I really wanted to give this book an honorary mention because I love this author, and I feel like in the book community, she really doesn't get mentioned a lot unless it's for her one series with the Blue Aliens. I'm not really sure. But this is another series, like a a novella series that she makes, and she pretty much comes out with a book, I feel like, every 3 months or so. But When She Wishes is by Ruby Dixon. Now, I love this author. I wanted to give her a mention because she makes such good reads in such a short amount of pages, and I feel like she never fails. Like, her books are so entertaining. I love to reread them, and I feel like I want to be able to recommend this short novella for you guys too, or this short series, especially if you want to read a book, something different from a little bit of vampires and werewolves, and you want to maybe dip your toe in a little bit of alien romance, okay? But yes, I love When She Wishes. I love her whole entire series, and this was the shortest book that I read this month. So once again, guys, thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until the next time, bye.